Yes, devotion. For that is, I believe, the phrase for hopeful ambition. And Villefort's father extended his hand to the bell rope to summon the servant who his son had not called. Villefort caught his arm. "Wait, my dear father," said the young man. "One more word." "Say on." "How stupid the royalist police may be, they do not know one terrible thing." "What is that?" "The description of the man who, on the morning of the day when General Quesnel disappeared, presented himself at his house." "Oh, the admirable police have found that out, have they? And what may be the description?" "Dark complexion, hair, eyebrows, whiskers black, blue frock coat, buttoned up to the chin, rosette of an officer of the Legion of Honor in his buttonhole, a hat with a wide brim, and a cane." "Aha! That's it, is it?" said Noirtier. "And why, then, have they not laid hands on him?" "Because yesterday or the day before they lost sight of him at the corner of the Rue Coq-Héron. Didn't I say your police were good for nothing?" "Yes, but they may catch him yet." "True," said Noirtier, looking carelessly around. "True, if this person were not on his guard, as he is," he added with a smile, "he will consequently make few changes in his personal appearance." At these words he rose and put his frock coat on the cravat, and went towards a table on which lay his son's toilet articles, lathered his face, took a razor, and, with a firm hand, cut off the compromising whiskers. Villefort watched him with alarm, not devoid of admiration. His whiskers cut off, Noirtier gave another turn to his hair, took, instead of his black cravat, a colored neckerchief which lay at the top of an open portmanteau, put on, in lieu of his blue and high-buttoned frock coat, a coat of Villefort's of dark brown, and cut away in front. Tried on before the glass a narrow-brimmed hat of his son's, which appeared to fit him perfectly, and, leaving his cane in the corner where he had deposited it, he took up a small bamboo switch, cut the air with it once or twice, and walked around with an easy swagger which was one of his principal characteristics. Oh, we're starting to see where Villefort gets his suaveness from. Noirtier just kind of thumbing his nose to the idea that the cops have his description and flaunting it in front of his son. I guess to a certain degree, he's putting faith that his son won't turn him in. Do we think that's true? I don't know. For how quickly he turned on Dante, I think, based on the internal monologue we had of Villefort, expressing his frustration for how often his father stands in the way of his ambition, there is a line in the sand that Villefort would turn on his father. I think we're going to see that. I don't know that, but I don't know that it'll happen soon. But I do get a sense that Villefort has a certain admiration for his father. Maybe that's because it says that explicitly in this passage, i.e., Villefort watched him with alarm, not devoid of ambition. So he is watching his father just kind of flaunt the law. Again, is Noirtier kind of showing the same sort of hubris that the king does, where he is banking on the power of Napoleon's return to save him from whatever, like when Villefort is, saying, "Hey, you know what? I know you killed Quesnel because the police have your description," and Noirtier is basically saying, "Yeah, but Napoleon's going to be here soon, and I'm going to be pardoned, and none of that's going to matter because it's not murder when it's politics. It's just removing an obstacle." So is he showing the same amount of, kind of cockiness and willful ignorance that the king was showing? You know what? Oh, as much as I don't like Villefort as a character, I mean, he's an interesting, well drawn out character, but just like really skeevy. I think he's got what it takes to adapt. He's the one I do think he's gonna come out on top here. Two quick historical things: the Rue Coq-Héron, which I just have a fun time saying. I probably shouldn't, but. Not because of the cock part. Come on, folks, grow up. It's the way the sounds roll off the tongue. The Rue Coq-Héron. I'm sorry, everyone from France. This is a real street in Paris, and I think it's Dumas. Is this becoming historical fiction to a degree? I have to be honest. I don't fully understand what historical fiction is. Because it's taking real events and putting a fictional story within it. I think that's the definition of historical fiction. I didn't even put that together, that we are reading a historical fiction novel until right this minute. But Rue Coq is a real street in Paris, and during this time was a hotbed of kind of surveillance, both for the monarchy and the Bonapartists. So I think this is kind of like one of those Cold War streets in like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, where you expect to be seeing, men in trench coats with fur collars, passing messages to one another on a bench without looking at each other. And also the Legion of Honor. I'm not pronouncing that in the proper French, but that's how it's spelled. The Legion of Honor is the second time this has been mentioned, and I think kind of interesting to log here. So just as a earmark, it was initially established by Napoleon, and the fact that Noirtier has it here on his lapel shows that he was really, really decorated by the Napoleonic Empire. However, it was mentioned in the previous chapter when the Minister of Police was able to identify Noirtier's description, saying that he wore the Legion of Honor. But I just want to draw an interesting parallel that the king gave Villefort, basically the monarch's version of that. So they both have these medals, and doesn't that put them on very interesting equal footing on opposite sides of this political divide? I'm curious how this conflict between father and son is going to play out as we finish out this chapter. Join me here tomorrow for the penultimate episode of Chapter 12. I'll see you all then, okay? The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.